since you mentioned about the chromosome, the extra chromosome, for those that that are
Well,
watching.
I definitely want you to give us a an explanation as to what causes Down syndrome. Like, why are children born with this extra chromosome? What's the physiology behind it?
Right. So Down syndrome is specifically the medical term is called trisomy 21. I'm no doctor or anything like that.
But you've
But
had the experience. Yeah.
correct. So it's trisomy 21. Why trisomy 21? Well, the human being has 23 pairs of chromosomes, through 23 pairs, 23 from the mother, 23 from the father. When they unite, after fertilization or whatever, it makes a total of 46, 23 pairs. So what happens is that there's many types of trisomies. There's trisomy whatever 18s and this and that, but specifically for Down syndrome, it's trisomy 21. Why? Because there's a third chromosome in the 21st pair. So the causes of that, there's many causes of that. It could be either genetic or just by chance. So what happens is that in 90 something percent, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it's a high percent. 90 something percent of the time is usually the egg is the one that comes with when the woman makes the eggs or whatever, it separates all the chromosomes, 23 here and 23 there. But what happens is that some of them come with, two chromosomes on that 21st pair. So when it unites with the sperm, makes that third. So 90 something percent of the time it happens by chance. There's another percentage, which is a smaller percent, where I think it's the mother or the father, like half, like it's something like the 21st pair is united together. It cannot separate. So half of the times there's gonna be, like in the man's case, half of the times there's gonna be half of the sperms are gonna have two chromosomes on that 21st pair. The other ones are not gonna have any, right? So there's a 50-50 chance that that person, whether it's the father or the mother,
Right.
is gonna have a Down syndrome. That wasn't our case. Our case was just by chance. And if I remember correctly, during that time, for a 19-year-old mother, the chances of having a Down syndrome was something like one in 1,500, which
Yeah,
is
it's like
pretty
it's
common.
yeah. Oh, it's common, you're saying?
Yeah, that relatively. I mean, one in 1,500. That means in our school, that was 3 or 4 thousand students. There's gonna be what, 3 or 4
I didn't
children born.
see. I didn't think that it was at that age, right at 19, that it was going to be such a high statistic. I thought that it would apply more toward really, really young kids, like those cases where a kid gets raped, and they're really young, 11, 12 years old, or very old women, right? Well, not very old, but like if I go and I have a kid right now, I'm 48, like there's I got to be careful if I can even get pregnant, right? There's a heavier chance. You have to have the amniocentesis, and they're going to do all kinds of medical background checks because the chances of that happening, because your eggs are older, right? So um I thought that when you were 19, I would think that no, like you're fresh, you're new still, like your eggs are good.
Well, listen to this. For a 35-year-old at the time, it should be similar as for a 35-year-old mother. Now the chances become 1 in 100.
Yeah,
So
yeah. After 35, they start. You're supposed to get the amnio, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I was 33 when I had my daughter, and I wasn't yet, and again, right? It's based on the blood work and all the. So let's backtrack a little bit. So you
sure.
said that now with the ultrasound, they should have been able to detect these attributes, right, that we're talking about, the eyes and the ears and the symmetry in her face, right? Is that
The
what
back
it
of her
is?
neck as well.
So it's based on what they do measurements, and that's how they would be able to to tell that something could be wrong, right? Like there's no way to really confirm it unless we do blood work.
Now with higher definition in the ultrasound, they're able to detect it a little better, measure better, etc. But for a young mother, they don't really check much. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, that's probably what happened during that time. They don't really expect it,
Yeah.
so they don't really like measure, check, or anything like that. So yeah, I mean it's for a 35-year-old, it's 1 in 100. And here's the thing: even if it happens by chance, once you have that first, especially if it's your first child, once a mother has a Down syndrome child, now the chances become higher, like 1 in 300 or 1 in 200
To have another one,
of having
to
another.
have another child with Down
Yes,
syndrome. Oh, really?
yes. So our following children, the two boys that came after her, she did an amniocentesis.
Okay,
You
so
know,
Priscilla was the first one for you guys.
yes,
I was gonna
yes.
say you guys were really young if you had kids before that. I was like, what age did you guys start? Good Lord.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, okay, so Priscilla was the first one. I get it. Okay, so
At
then
the
she
age
had to
of
have,
just
so she had to have the amnio then for the boys, right? Afterwards, like
right.
they were checking her a little more.
Yes.
Now, another thing that is my understanding is that a lot of children that are born with Down syndrome, they're also born with an impairment in their heart where they have a hole that they have to repair, and it usually has to happen before the age of 1. I remember that happening with my friend Marlis as well, and Mia, her daughter. And it seems to be with pretty much everyone that I've spoken to that do have children with Down syndrome. Did that happen to Priscilla as well?
Thank goodness, or whatever universe or whatever is out there, it didn't. That wasn't the case with her. And if I remember correctly, there's a 50-50 chance
Of that.
on a Down syndrome child that they have that situation in their heart, and
Yeah.
thankfully Priscilla didn't have that situation in her heart.
Oh, that's great. That's